Yeah, welcome. This is Johnny, and I wanted to produce a quick video on how Vectorworks handles views and processes similar to the MRLS and Chief. Scott had asked a question about what it meant, and when I was trying to type it out, I think it just sounded more difficult than it actually was. So here's what I've done. I've set up a really quick drawing file. I have a basic shape for my floor plan 1, and this is my floor plan 2, and I have a lower roof and an upper roof, so that the visual of this is such that it's very similar to actually what Scott had in his tutorial as far as a lower floor with a roof over it and a partially covered second story with its own roof over it. I didn't spend obviously any time doing any design work. This is just for illustrative purposes. So how can you set different views of this structure in Vectorworks? Well, first off, in Vectorworks, layers have Z coordinates. So for instance, my floor 1 here has a 0 base height and a 9-foot stud wall height. If I go to, I'll skip my framing for a second. If I go to floor 2, picks up at 10 foot and an eighth, and then we have the same wall height of 9 foot here. And the upper roof has its starting point, and even though there's no walls, actually the roof will define its height based on what it needs to be. There is a lower roof as well, and that has its height associated with the lower wall level. That's how layers are set in Chief Architect, or excuse me, Vectorworks. It doesn't mean that you're stuck to having these layers be representative of just floor and roof structures or floor framing and roof structures, but rather it could be anything. And you can set a layer for soffits, for instance, and that layer would exist at a certain height on whatever level you're drawing your soffits, and you build your soffits at that level, and it just automatically builds at the 0 baseline. What Chief uses for layers is represented as classes in Vectorworks. So here I've switched over to my classes, which is more items that don't have any Z data associated with it. Usually 2D items such as dimensions, text, all those sorts of things. So, and they can have different view properties as well. But between the two of those, which are layers and classes, you can achieve any view that you want. And so I'll illustrate that real quick for you guys. Let's go back down to the top view, and there you see everything's on. But let's go back to everything off. And there's my floor 1. Let's go ahead and use floor 1 with my lower roof level. Here's a view. I have those 2 layers basically on because I'm on floor 1 layer, and then I go ahead and make the lower roof visible. Well, over here I have my saved views, and so I'll just say new. And I'll say lower floor with lower roof. All sorts of settings here. I can change things more customizable. Here I can actually change how they visibly show up, colors, whatnot. I don't want to bother with that. So there is my first saved view of this plan. Let me do another view with just the roofs. Say I want to have the lower roof and the upper roof visible, and that's it. To start with, I'll go to my lower roof as the base, and I will turn on the upper roof. And there you go. Go over here, say new, say view, lower, upper roof. Okay, now let's say I want to see all the walls underneath as well. Kind of a combined view. I can actually stay right here and I can just turn on everything. Although let's say I don't want to see any of the text, so I'll just come back over here and turn off all the text in my classes. And so now I see the walls. But you know what? Let's make those walls gray. Now I can just set it to gray. I can actually set it to any color I want, but I just want to gray them out for now so that you can see the black lines. Let's go ahead and turn off dimensions. There, okay. So there you go. So now both roofs, bird's eye view, both wall levels, grayed out. And I will come over here, say file new, and I will say composite wall roof. Okay, there's another view. Let's go to 3D real quick. So now here I went to 3D and actually my walls are showing in 3-dimension grayed out. So let's say I have this view here and it's an isometric view. I want to save that view. Let's say I want to come back to that. I'll say new. I'll say ISO composite wall roof. Now that has a little different icon. You see those are plan views and these are 3-dimensional views. Say I want everything turned on. I'll just come back here, just turn on everything. And there I'm back. And let's say I want to do this view here. It's isometric there. So I'll go back to sheet views, say new, and I'll say ISO composite full. So here I have views that I can customize. I can organize them however I want. I can set any view I want very quickly, and as I double click on them, it goes right back to those views. I can have text associated with those views. I can have dimensions associated with those views. That's my point. It's limitless. It's quick, easy to understand. You're just turning on and off things and saving a view. To me, I think that's much more preferable than the MRLS setup that, quite frankly, gets complex and confusing. So, anyways, thanks a lot.